Hello friends, welcome back. This is the fourth lecture on bevel gears. In this lecture, we will deal with beam strength of bevel gears, wear strength of bevel gears, and effective load on gear tooth. Now let me start the first point, beam strength of bevel gears. Everyone carefully observe the figure which is shown on the screen. Here we show the half portion of bevel gear and at a larger end here we create a formative spur gear or imaginary spur gear. One thing is everyone know to everyone, the size of cross section of tooth of bevel gears varies along the face width, and that is also shown in this figure. Now here we determine the beam strength of a bevel gear. It is considered to be a equivalent to a formative spur gear in a plane perpendicular to the tooth element. Okay, for determining the beam strength, we consider an elemental section of the tooth at a distance x from apex point O and having a width dx. Okay, everyone observe this sketch carefully. O is the apex point of the pitch cone, gamma is the pitch angle, R is the pitch circle radius of bevel gear. Now B is the face width that is indicated, that is shown on the large end of the gear tooth. And here for determining the beam, here also there are two axes, x axis and y axis. And for determining the beam strength, we consider an elemental section of the tooth. These two lines is the elemental section of the tooth at a distance x, that is clearly shown, at a distance x from the apex point O and having a width dx. Okay, now for this formative spur gear, we apply Levis equation. Levis equation, that is delta SB mx bx sigma b y, where delta B, beam strength of the elemental section, is in Newton, mx, module of the section in millimeter, bx, face width of elemental section in millimeter, capital Y, Levis form factor based on virtual number of teeth. Now here first of all we find out the value of a module, that is mx, module of the section. Now everyone knowing the definition of module, that is the pitch circle diameter to the number of teeth, or 2 into pitch circle radius to the number of teeth. Okay, in similar manner we find out the determine the value of mx. Now again everyone see the figure carefully. In using this figure we take a one relation, Rx, small rx divided by capital R is equal to x divided by AO. Therefore Rx is equal to x into capital R divided by AO. Here when we apply the Levis equation for this formative spur gear, that equation is considered as equation A, and this equation, the radius of that elemental section Rx, the radius of that elemental section Rx, that is the x into capital R divided by AO, consider equation B. Okay, now let me find out the module. Here we get a radius, and by using the radius we find out the module. At the elemental section, mx is equal to 2rx divided by z. From equation B we substitute the value of rx in this equation, and we get a value of mx is equal to 2x capital R divided by ZAO. Consider equation C. Now, at the large end of a tooth, we consider a complete bevel gear. At the large end of the tooth, the module of that bevel gear is found by using the relation 2R divided by Z. R is the pitch circle radius of bevel gear. This equation is considered as equation number D, and from equation C and D, in equation C, we substitute the value of capital R, and we get a value of capital R from equation D. R is equal to mz divided by 2. This value we substitute in equation C. After substituting in equation C, here we get a relation 2x divided by z suffix o into mz divided by 2. Here 2 to get cancel, zz get cancel, and remains the value of mx is equal to m into inside the bracket x divided by AO. Consider equation E. Also, face width of elemental section, that is bx is equal to dx, that is shown on the figure. Now here we substitute the value of mx and bx, means substitute the equation E and F in equation A. Equation A is the Lewis equation for formative spur gear. After substituting this value in after substituting equation E and F in equation A, we get a relation delta SB is equal to m inside the bracket x divided by AO into dx into sigma b into y. After that, we simplify the relation delta SB is equal to m sigma b y x into dx divided by AO. Consider equation G. Consider equation G. Again, from equation B and G. Here, this equation G is for the tangential force, that is PT, and equation B is the radius. Okay. Now, everyone knowing the definition of a torque, tangential force into radius. Here also we take a product Rx delta SB. Integration Rx delta SB is equal to integration m sigma by x dx divided by AO into x r capital R divided by AO. Simplify that relation. Rx integration Rx delta SB is equal to m sigma by r divided by AO square. These all terms are constant. Integration x square into dx. Consider equation H. As you discussed, left hand side indicate the torque, means the tangential force into the radius, that is m suffix t. M suffix t torque is equal to m suffix t is equal to m sigma by r divided by AO square. Integration from lower limit AO minus b to upper limit AO x dx. X dx. That limit is taken from the elemental section. Now we integrate that, and here we get the relation m sigma by r divided by AO square, and the integration of x square is x cube divided by 3. Upper limit is AO, lower limit is AO minus b. Now here putting the limits in this relation. After substituting the limits in this relation, here m sigma by r divided by AO square, here we put a upper limit AO cube by 3 minus lower limit AO minus b bracket square cube divided by 3. Now here we expand the bracket. Here m sigma by r divided by AO square inside the bracket AO cube by 3 minus, here we take a 1 by 3 outside the bracket and expand this AO cube, AO minus b bracket cube. That expansion is AO cube minus 3AO square b plus 3AO b square minus b cube. Now here we multiply the bracket by using the term AO square. After multiplying the bracket AO square, that AO cube divided by 3AO square minus AO cube divided by 3AO square get cancelled, minus plus 3AO square B divided by 3AO square, 3 and AO square get cancelled, only B is remains there, minus 3AO B square divided by 3AO, 3 get cancelled, AO and AO square get cancelled, AO square, the remaining term is B divided by AO square sorry, B square divided by AO square, minus B cube divided by 3AO square. Okay, and from this term we take a B common and we get a relation MB is torque MT is equal to MB sigma By into R, inside the bracket 1 after taking a B common, 1 minus B divided by AO plus B square divided by 3AO square. Consider equation I. Assuming beam strength SB as a tangential force at the large end of the tooth, here we assume SB, that is the beam strength, is the tangential force at the large end of the tooth, and we know the relation for torque. Torque is the tangential force into the radius. M suffix T is equal to SB into R. Okay, now here we substitute the here we consider that equation is considered as J. In that equation we just substitute the value of M suffix T, value of torque. After substituting the value of torque, R from both sides get cancelled. Here R is present in a torque equation, and here R is torque R is present in equation I and in equation J. And when we substitute the MT in equation J, RR get cancelled. The remaining term SB is equal to MB sigma By inside the bracket 1 minus B divided by AO plus B square divided by 3 AO square. Okay, now another one thing is important in beam strength of bevel gear. The face width of bevel gear is limited to the 1/3 of the cone distance. Okay, here the face width of the bevel gear is limited to 1/3 of the cone distance, and when we take a cube of 1/3 and we get a value 1/27. Okay, therefore the last term in the bracket will never be more than 1 divided by 27, and that's why the last term is neglected, and the final equation for beam strength for bevel gear is SB is equal to MB sigma B into Y inside the bracket 1 minus B divided by AO, where SB is the beam strength of the tooth, that is in Newton, M is the module at the large end of the tooth in millimeter, B is the face width in millimeter, sigma B permissible bending stress, that is SUT by 3, and that is in Newton per millimeter square. Y is the Lewis form factor based on formative number of teeth. Remember this. AO is the cone distance, that is in millimeter. The term 1 minus B by AO, remember that is also asked for 1 mark in MCQ. The term 1 minus B by AO is called as a bevel factor, and equation 1 is known as a Lewis equation for the bevel gear. Here in case here the face width of this bevel gear, that is taken, B is equal to, B is the face width, B is 10 times module, that is knowing to you, and another equation for face width is B is 1/3 of cone distance. Okay, here the face width of bevel gear is generally taken as a 10 times module, that is knowing to you, or in case of a bevel gear taken as a 1/3 of cone distance, and whichever is smaller means we use the relation B is equal to 10 module and we get a some value, and we use another we use the relation for face width B is equal to 1/3 of AO by 1/3 of AO cone distance, and from that using these two equation we get some value, the lower value or the smaller value which is considered in a calculation. Okay, remember that. This is whole thing about the beam strength of a bevel gear. This derivation derive the beam strength of bevel gear. That question is also asked for 6 to 7 mark in university examination. Now the next bit, wear strength of bevel gears. Same thing is here. The contact between meshing teeth of a straight bevel gears is a line contact, which is similar to that of a spur gears. In order to determine the wear strength, the bevel gear is considered to be equivalent to a formative spur gear in a plane which is perpendicular to the tooth element at the large end. Now here we apply the Buckingham equation to this formative gears. We know the Buckingham equation for a formative spur gear. SW is equal to BQ D dash suffix P into K. Consider equation A, where B is the face width of gears in millimeter, Q is the ratio factor, D dash suffix P is the pitch circle diameter of pinion, and K is the material constant, that is in Newton per millimeter square. Now in this relation only one term is determined to get the wear strength, to get the equation of wear strength in case of bevel gear. B is constant, Q is constant, K is also constant. Only the diameter here we determine and that diameter, the value of that pitch circle diameter here we substitute in this relation, and we get a wear strength equation for a bevel gear. Okay. Now pitch circle diameter of a formative pinion, that is knowing to you, D dash suffix P, that is 2 times RB, back cone radius. Now another one relation is knowing to you, back cone radius, that is equal to D divided by 2 cos gamma, 2 cos gamma, and that D dash suffix P is equal to 2 into dP divided by 2 cos gamma. In this relation 2 get cancelled, and the pitch circle diameter of the pinion is capital D suffix P divided by cos gamma. This is the pitch circle diameter of a formative gear, and D suffix P is the diameter of a bevel pinion. Okay, where D dash suffix P is the pitch circle diameter of pinion at the large end of the tooth. Here the above equation is considered as equation B, and from equation A and P, wear strength SW is equal to BQ dPK. Here what do you do, we just substitute the value of D dash suffix P in equation A from equation B, and we get the value of wear strength SW is equal to BQ capital D suffix P into K divided by cos gamma. Consider equation C. In a case of a bevel gears, either the pinion or the gear is generally overhanging. It is subjected to deflection under the action of a tooth forces, and it has been founded that to transmit the load, only 1/4 means 3/4 of the face width is effective. 1/4 or 3/4 face width is effective, and the equation C is again modified like that. SW is equal to, here 3/4 means it is a 0.75, because that 3/4 face width, that is effective face width to transmit the load. That's why that equation is again modified, and we get a equation of wear strength in case of a bevel gear. SW is equal to 0.75 BQ D dash D sub capital D suffix P into K divided by cos gamma. Consider equation D. Equation D is known as a Buckingham equation for the wear strength of the bevel gear. For the wear strength of the bevel gear, the equation is derived for the formative pair of pinion and gear. Now next part, the ratio factor Q. How to find the value of ratio factor Q? Q is given by, in this case of a bevel gear, Q is equal to 2Zg divided by Zg plus Zp into tan gamma. Tan gamma. Okay, using this relation we find out the ratio factor in case of a bevel gear. Remember that relation once again, 2Zg divided by Zg plus Zp tan gamma. Gamma is the pitch angle. Material constant k is equal to sigma c square, that is the surface stress, surface endurance stress, sigma c square into sin alpha cos alpha into inside the bracket 1 divided by Young's modulus of pinion plus 1 divided by Young's modulus of gear, bracket complete, whole divided by 1.4. That is considered equation F. Now when the pinion as well as the gear are made up of a steel with a 20-degree pressure angle, and we know the relation for material constant k is equal to 0.16 inside the bracket BHN divided by 100 bracket square. Again we know the definition of wear strength. SW indicate the maximum value of tangential force that the maximum value of a tangential force at the large end of the tooth that the tooth can transmit without pitting failure, and it should be more than effective force between the meshing teeth. This is about the wear strength. Next point, that is the last point in this lecture, effective load. Effective load, again it is the sum of a static load and dynamic load, which was already discussed in spur and helical gear. Same thing is here. Static load, that is the tangential force P suffix T. To determine the tangential component due to the power transmission considered to be acting at the large end of the tooth, the component is determined by using two equations. Torque m suffix t is equal to 16 to 10 to the power 6 into kilowatt divided by 2 pi n, and the tangential force, that is 2 times torque divided by d. Remember that in this case in effective load, that tangential force is determined by 2 m suffix t divided by t, and when we do the force analysis, the tangential force is found by using the relation m suffix t torque divided by mean radius r suffix m. Remember that is the difference. This is the static load. Next is the dynamic load. In addition to the tangential component, due to power transmission, there is a dynamic load, and there are two methods to account for the dynamic load. First one, and approximate estimation by the velocity factor in the preliminary stages of the gear design, and second one, precise calculation by Spott's equation or Buckingham equation in the final stages of gear design. The effective load P effective between the two meshing teeth is given by, in preliminary stages of gear design, P effective is equal to service factor divided by velocity factor into tangential force. P effective is equal to CS divided by CV into PT. C suffix S is the service factor, CV is the velocity factor, and in bevel gear two relations is used to obtain the value of a velocity factor. See, first one, the velocity factor for the cut teeth is given by sigma CV is equal to 6 divided by 6 plus V, and when the gears for generated teeth, the velocity factor is CV is equal to 5.6 divided by 5.6 plus under root V. Using these two relations, we find out the velocity factor in case of a bevel gear. Okay. After that, dynamic load basically find by using the two equations, Spott equation or Buckingham equation. Bevel gears are usually made up of steel, and the dynamic load is given by Spott equation. That dynamic load is found by using the Spott equation. P suffix D is equal to E n suffix p z suffix p b dash. Remember that b dash r1 r2 divided by 2530 under root r1 square plus r2 square. In the above equation, r1 and r2 are the radius of the pinion and gear respectively at the midpoint of the tooth, and b dash is the axial width of the gear blank. Remember that b dash is the axial width of the gear blank. Everyone knowing how to find out the mean radius of pinion and gear. R1 is the mean radius of pinion, that is dp by 2 divided by b into sine gamma divided by 2. Gamma is the pitch angle for pinion. R2 is the mean radius for gear, that is dg by 2 minus b into sine lambda by 2. Lambda, that is the pitch angle for the gear. Okay, and that relation again here we have to modify dg by 2 minus b into sine 90 minus gamma. Sine 90 minus gamma, that is the cos gamma, and therefore to find the mean radius for the gear, that is R2 is equal to dg by 2 minus b cos gamma divided by 2, and the axial width of the gear blank B dash is equal to B into cos gamma. Remember these three relations. When we find out the dynamic load by spot equation in case of a bevel gear, that three relations are very important. R1, R2, that is the mean radius of pinion and gear, and B dash is the axial width of a gear blank, and B dash is obtained by the relation B into cos gamma. Now the effective load is given by, that is knowing to you, service factor into tangential force plus dynamic load. Using this relation we get the effective load when we use the spot equation to get the value of dynamic load. Next, dynamic load by Buckingham equation. The equation for dynamic load in bevel gear, that is shown on the screen. Dynamic load P suffix D is equal to 21V CEB plus PT divided by 21V plus under root CEB plus PT. Buckingham equation for spur gear and bevel gear, both equation is same, where P suffix D is the dynamic load or incremental dynamic load, that is in Newton. V is the pitch line velocity in meter per second. C is the deformation factor, Newton per millimeter square. E is the sum of the error between two meshing teeth, that is in millimeter. B is the face width of tooth in millimeter. P suffix T, tangential force due to the power transmission in Newton. Bevel gears are usually made up of steel, and the deformation factor C is 11,400 Newton per mm square. Now the effective load is obtained by in final stages of gear design when we use the spot equation or Buckingham equation to determine the value of dynamic load. In that case, the effective load is found by using that relation that is shown on the screen. Effective load is equal to service factor into tangential force plus dynamic load. P effective is equal to CSPT plus PT. Okay, when we solve the problem on beam strength, wear strength, these things are very important, which is shown on the screen. The classes of gears mentioned in the table indicate the following manufacturing methods. Class 1, well cut commercial gear teeth. Class 2, gear teeth cut with great care. Class 3, ground and lapped precision gear teeth. Okay, table, maximum expected error between two meshing teeth in millimeter. Here here first column and first row. First row is a module M in millimeter, class 1, class 2, class 3. First column, that is in module, up to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Class 1 for 4 module 0.050, for class 2 0.025, and for a class 3 0.0125. Okay, if the module is 4 and made up of a class 1, we take a directly total error between pinion and gear is 0.050 when it is made up of class 1. If it is made up of class 2, it is taken 0.025, and when it is made up of a class 3, that total error is taken as 0.0125, that is directly in millimeter. Okay, same thing is follow for the other modules and other classes. This thing is very important. This is the whole thing about the beam strength of bevel gear, wear strength of bevel gear, and the effective load on a gear tooth. Thank you very much.